Today we are talking about My Friends by Fredrik Backman.
Yes, finally.
It is a deeply human, quietly devastating novel about loneliness, friendship, and the elaborate ways people hide from their own hearts. Fredrik Backman writes books that feel like a warm hug that suddenly breaks your ribs.
Breaks your ribs, shatters your collarbone, yeah, completely wrecks you.
I mean, I'm still recovering, to be honest.
Oh, same. I don't think I took a full, proper breath for like the last 50 pages of the book.
Right. You just sit there when it's over, staring at the ceiling.
Exactly. Staring at the wall, realizing you have to somehow go back to normal society after your entire emotional architecture has been rearranged.
Yeah, I was literally pacing my kitchen at 2 in the morning after I finished it.
Oh, wow.
I wanted to call you, actually, but it was the middle of the night, so I just, sat there in the dark.
I would have answered. I was probably awake thinking about it too.
Well, I think that's exactly where we need to invite you, the person listening to this right now, to sit with us today. Just pull up a chair.
Yeah, get comfortable. Or maybe uncomfortable.
Right, because we aren't going to give you some clinical plot summary today. We aren't doing a chapter-by-chapter recap.
No, absolutely not.
We want to really sit in the messy, terrifying reality of what it actually means to be known by another person. We want to talk about the absolute terror of dropping your armor.
And what happens when deeply broken people miraculously manage to find their human?
Yes, because that's the core of it, right?
Oh.
Finding your human.
Which is an inherently dangerous thing to do in a lot of ways.
Oh, completely.
And I think to understand why it's so dangerous in this specific story, we have to kind of look at what you usually expect when you pick up a Fredrik Backman book.
Yeah, let's talk about those expectations, because they're real.
Right. Like, if you've read A Man Called Ove or Anxious People, you are pretty much conditioned to expect a very specific kind of, emotional safety net.
Oh, totally. You expect a curmudgeon.
Exactly.
Like a grumpy older person who yells at a stray cat but then secretly, builds a dollhouse for the neighbor's kid.
Yeah. Yes, exactly that. You expect charmingly flawed people who get stuck in these absurd, slightly farcical situations.
Right, like a bank robbery that accidentally turns into an apartment viewing.
Or a whole town rallying around a junior hockey team.
Yeah.
You expect this undeniable, immediate warmth right out of the gate.
Yeah, and the thing is, My Friends by Fredrik Backman definitely has that warmth.
It does. It really does.
But it completely subverts that expectation of safety. Like, he does not ease you into the deep end here at all.
No, he drops you straight into the ice water from page 1.
The opening pages are they're brutal.
So brutal.
Because there is no grumpy old man complaining about parking regulations. There is just Louisa.
A 17-year-old runaway.
Right. Sleeping in this abandoned, freezing space. And she has 2 screwdrivers wedged against the door.
Oh, the screwdrivers. That detail.
I really want to pause on that image for a second, because it isn't just 1 screwdriver. It's 2.
Yeah.
1 to wedge the frame, and 1 to physically hold in her hand in the dark while she sleeps.
Which tells you everything you need to know about her nervous system.
Everything. She is entirely desperate. She's convinced the world has just, discarded her.
Discarded her completely. And yet, and this is the crazy part, defying all logic, the book is still laugh out loud funny.
Yes, it's so jarring.
It really is. Like,
Yeah.
when you are reading about a teenager who is terrified of being assaulted in her sleep, laughing feels almost, inappropriate.
Yeah, it feels wrong. But I actually think the humor is a weapon here.
A weapon, or maybe like emotional armor.
Yes, emotional armor. It's like Fredrik Backman disarms you with a joke just so the grief can slip past your defenses.
Oh, that's exactly what he does.
Right. Like, he makes you laugh so your mouth is open, and then he just casually drops this devastating truth about human suffering right down your throat.
You don't even see it coming. You're just chuckling at Louisa's intensely sarcastic internal monologue.
Which is so funny.
It's hilarious. Or you're laughing at the sheer absurdity of her interacting with that dying homeless man.
The tambourine thief.
The tambourine thief, yes. And before you even realize what is happening to you, you are weeping.
You're just sobbing on your couch.
And that whiplash is entirely intentional. There's actually this really fascinating piece of context from the publishing side of things.
Oh, right, the letter in the advance copy?
Yeah, from Peter Borland. He's the editor-in-chief at Atria Books.
Right, and think about his job for a second. This is a man whose entire career is built on reading manuscripts, evaluating them analytically, and figuring out how to market them.
He's a professional reader. He doesn't get emotional easily.
Exactly. And in this letter, he admits that he literally had to close his office door while reading this manuscript because he was breaking down.
He warns the reader straight up. He says, and I'm paraphrasing the spirit of it here, that this is a story about the enduring power of childhood friendship and the ability of art to heal. But that it absolutely demands you walk through the fire to get to the hope.
Even the publisher is telling you, like, you have to earn the light in this book.
You really do. You have to earn it.
I love that idea of earning the light because the darkness is so thick at the start.
It's suffocating.
So let's go back to that scene I hinted at earlier. The moment Louisa's backpack breaks.
Oh man, the backpacks.
No. Because I initially read this just as a terrible stroke of bad luck for a runaway. Like, oh man, her bag broke.
Right, just a plot device.
Yeah. But the more I looked at it, the more I realized it's basically the thesis of her entire existence.
Well, break down what actually falls out of that bag. It's so specific.
Okay, so she trips while running from a security guard.
Right, in the freezing cold.
The zipper bursts, and out falls her passport, some cans of spray paint, a few sketch pads, a pack of cigarettes, those 2 screwdrivers, and whatever clothes she could cram inside.
That's it. That's her whole life.
Exactly. 17 years on the planet, 17 years of breathing and thinking and existing, and her entire life amounts to a pile of debris on a freezing sidewalk.
It's just gutted me.
And she's scrambling on her hands and knees to gather it, and the homeless man, the tambourine thief, kneels down to help her.
And that's the moment.
That's the moment. Louisa, who up until this point has been aggressively silent, just aggressively pushing the entire world away.
She just shatters. The armor cracks completely.
She unleashes everything, all the trauma she's been holding in her lungs. She tells this complete stranger about her foster home.
And she tells him about the adults sitting around the kitchen table discussing her best friend, Fish.
Fish, who had just died.
Right. And the adults are saying it's for the best.
Which is insane to say about a kid.
They're literally saying Fish was crazy, she was dangerous, and the world is actually safer without her.
And we need to look at Louisa's response to that, because it is the most raw, bleeding piece of dialogue.
Go ahead, read it.
She looks at this homeless man and says, Fish wasn't crazy. She was the best at nearly everything, and she was my human. She was my human, and now she's dead and no one even cares.
She was my human.
That phrase physically stopped me. I actually put the book down on my coffee table and just stared at it.
I mean, why do you think it hit you so hard? Because people say my person or my best friend all the time, you know?
Yeah, but best friend is a social construct.
True.
And foster sister is just a legal label. When Louisa says, my human, she is stripping away all the societal wrapping paper.
She's getting down to the absolute bare bones of it.
Exactly, the primal biological necessity. Out of the 8 billion people crawling around on this rock, this one specific biological entity was tethered to me.
Wow.
She wasn't just my friend, she was my witness. When you say my human, you are saying my anchor to reality.
So when Fish died, Louisa didn't just lose companionship, she lost her coordinates entirely.
Yes, she lost her proof of existence.
And the tambourine thief's response to this total breakdown is equally staggering to me.
What he says about our birthday.
Right. He hands her back her passport, which he noticed has her birth date on it. She's turning 18 the very next day. And he is physically wasting away. He is dying on the street. And he looks at this devastated 17-year-old and says, life is long, Louisa. Everyone will tell you that it's short, but they're lying. It's a long, long life.
I initially thought that was such a cruel thing to say to a grieving child.
Really? Cruel.
Well, yeah. Think about it. We are so conditioned by, like, coffee mugs and motivational posters to say life is short, seize the day, cherish every moment.
Oh, I see what you mean.
So why would he threaten her with a long life?
Well, I don't think it's a threat at all. I think it's literally the only honest thing an adult has said to her in her entire life.
Honest? How?
I mean, a long life is a terrifying prospect to her right now, yes. But platitudes wouldn't work on Louisa.
That's very true. She'd see right through them.
Exactly. If he had said, things will get better, she would have spat in his face.
She absolutely would have.
By telling her life is long, he is validating the sheer exhaustion she feels. He is saying, I know you are tired, and I know you think you can't survive another day, but you are going to be here for a very long time. You have to figure out how to carry this.
Man, you're right. To a teenager whose only human has just vanished, 60 more years on Earth isn't a blessing. It's a prison sentence.
A total prison sentence.
And that forces us to look at what these characters are actually carrying inside those prisons.
Because the physical setting almost doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't. Fredrik Backman writes this line that stuck with me. He says, "Adults always think they can protect children by stopping them from going to dangerous places, but every teenager knows that's pointless because the most dangerous place on earth is inside us."
That's psychological insight right there. That is the engine of the entire novel.
It really is.
You can put a traumatized person in a beautiful mansion or a dark alley, and it makes absolutely no difference.
Yeah.
Because they bring the haunted house with them wherever they go.
Which brings us to Fish, the girl Louisa lost.
Right. Fish.
Fish couldn't handle the haunted house. She sought refuge in drugs. She slept in the dark with long sleeves pulled down over her hands so she wouldn't have to look at her own body.
She just hid from herself.
She did. And then on the complete opposite end of the spectrum, we have Ted and Kim Kim.
Oh, Ted.
I mean, introduce Ted to us for a second.
Okay, so Ted is this 40-year-old high school teacher. He is incredibly neurotic.
Anxious about literally everything.
Everything. He physically panics in cars. And he is currently tasked with carrying his best friend's ashes in a small box alongside a world-famous painting in a very large box.
And that best friend whose ashes he's carrying is Kim Kim,
The artist.
who is, to me, maybe the most profoundly tragic figure in the book.
Oh, without a doubt. Fredrik describes Kim Kim as a genius who felt entirely hollow, like a man who felt like a paper boat heading for a waterfall.
Okay, I want to push back on that a little bit, or at least expand on it.
Okay, let's hear it.
Because reading about Kim Kim, I kept getting so frustrated with him.
Really?
First, yes, because he had everything. Critics loved his art, he had immense wealth, he was famous all over the world.
Right.
And yet, right before he died, he liquidated everything. He sold his entire fortune just to buy back one specific painting he did as a teenager.
Just so he could leave it to Louisa.
Exactly. A runaway he barely even knew. I kept thinking, why couldn't he just enjoy his success? Why couldn't he just be happy?
Because the success didn't belong to him, not in his own mind.
What do you mean?
The book explains that Kim Kim felt like he had gone into a cloakroom, grabbed the wrong coat by mistake, and ended up wearing someone else's dream.
Oh, wow. Wearing someone else's dream.
Yes. He suffered from an imposter syndrome so severe as basically a terminal illness. He believed he was fundamentally worthless and that the entire art world had just been tricked by him.
So his wealth actually made him feel more isolated.
Exactly. It proved to him that nobody really knew him.
Wow. And that is what sets Fredrik Backman's writing apart from anyone else.
It really is.
He doesn't just write about sadness. Sadness is passive, you know, you sit in a chair and you are sad.
Right. It's just a state of being.
But Backman writes about loneliness as a highly active, elaborate construction project.
Oh, I love that phrasing. A construction project.
Yeah, these characters build massive fortresses of neuroses and sarcasm and anger and even art, specifically to keep people away.
Because they're terrified.
Terrified that if anyone actually breached the walls and saw the inside of their heads, they would run away in horror.
They're convinced they're unlovable at their core.
Exactly. Now, I want to stop right there. The idea of building a fortress to keep people away.
Okay.
Because there is a moment in the book, actually a recurring theme, that completely wrecked me once I understood it was actually happening, and it completely shifts how we understand that fortress.
Oh, wait. I have a feeling I know what you're going to bring up, but tell me. I want to hear it.
Okay, so it's the flashbacks to the four friends. Ted, Jor, Kim Kim, and Ollie.
Back when they are 14 years old. 25 years ago.
Yes. They have this ritual. When they go swimming in the sea at night, they jump into the dark, freezing water. They are completely submerged, isolated in the blackness.
Right.
But the second they burst to the surface and gasp for air, the very first thing they yell is, "Here!"
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Yes, I felt that in my chest.
And then a few feet away, another head breaks the surface and yells, "Here!" And then, "Here! Here! Here!"
They just keep yelling it.
And they do it in the winter, too. When they're walking to school in the pitch black morning before they can even see each other at the crossroads, they scream it into the void, "Here!"
Just into the absolute dark.
I initially just read this as teenagers being loud and obnoxious, you know, just kids being kids.
Making noise to make noise.
Yeah, but it's not.
It's an existential tether.
It is. And the realization of why they do it hit me like a physical blow. When you are a neglected 14-year-old, the opposite of loneliness isn't company.
No.
It's not just having warm bodies in a room with you. The opposite of loneliness is being locatable.
Oh, wait. I want to sit with that word. Locatable. That is huge.
Right. When you scream here into the dark, you are demanding to be placed on a map.
You're establishing your coordinates.
Exactly. You are saying to the universe, I exist, I am taking up physical space, and I need you to acknowledge my coordinates.
And the absolute heartbreak of it is that they have to do this for each other because nobody in their house is doing it.
Nobody. Let's look at those houses for a second.
It's so dark. Jor is hiding from a violently alcoholic father.
Ollie is sitting in a silent room waiting for her addicted parents to pass out just so she can safely walk to the kitchen.
The adults in their lives are not checking to see if they are here.
Not at all.
If they disappeared in the night, it would take days for anyone to notice. So these 4 kids become each other's radar systems.
It's brilliant. It's just brilliant writing. And it connects flawlessly back to Louisa in the present day.
Oh. Remember why she is so terrified of turning 18.
Yes, she says that when she turns 18, the police will stop looking for her.
She won't be a missing person anymore. She will just be gone.
The psychology there is staggering. To be missing means someone is actively looking for you.
It means someone somewhere is hoping you are here.
Yes, being missing implies value. Once you're just gone, you have fallen off the radar entirely.
And without Fish, Louisa has no one to yell here to. She screams it into the dark, and there's just silence.
Just dead silence, which is why the painting Kim Kim buys back is so incredibly vital.
It's a painting of the pier.
It's a painting of the 4 of them at 14 being here together.
The pier and the painting. Honestly, this might be my favorite dynamic in the entire novel.
Oh, it's so good.
Because you have this masterpiece of modern art hanging in all these fancy galleries, and all these stuffy, pretentious art critics write long, agonizing essays about it.
Oh, they do. They say it represents the melancholic isolation of the human condition.
Right, the vast emptiness of the sea.
The existential dread of youth.
They project all their adult misery onto it.
They completely do. But then Louisa looks at a postcard of it, and Ted, the guy who was actually sitting on the pier when it was painted, tells her the truth.
The actual truth.
They weren't staring into the melancholic abyss.
No, they were not.
There were 3 14-year-old boys vibrating with suppressed laughter because Jor had just let loose a fart made completely of eggs.
A fart made of eggs. It is the single most accurate depiction of being 14 I have ever read.
It is so funny, but it's also a deeply vital form of protection.
How do you mean?
Well, we talked about humor as emotional armor, right? And for these kids, their friendship was literal armor. The egg fart isn't just a joke. It's a rebellion against the misery waiting for them at home.
Oh, I see. I want to dive into the mechanics of that armor, actually, specifically with Jor.
Yes, Jor.
Because Jor is the muscle of the group. He's the one who sleeps with a knife buried in the dirt of a flower box outside his window.
Just in case he needs to defend himself against his own father.
Exactly. But he uses his physical toughness entirely to shield the others. Specifically, Ali.
The dress story. We have to talk about the dresses.
It's the defining moment of their loyalty.
Set the scene for us.
Okay, so Ali is a tomboy. She absolutely refuses to wear dresses. And in a rough, working-class school, any deviation from the norm is basically blood in the water.
Kids are brutal.
They are. The other kids are mercilessly teasing her, isolating her, just trying to break her down.
So what did the boys do?
They don't go tell a teacher.
No.
They don't try to convince Ali to conform or tell her to just wear what the other girls are wearing.
No, Jor, Kim Kim, and Ted run to Jor's house, raid his mother's closet, put on women's dresses that do not fit them in the slightest.
And they walk right through the front doors of the school.
It's just an absolute power move.
And Jor pays the price for it.
He does.
He gets into a fistfight almost every single day. He practically moves his desk into the principal's office. And this is where we really have to look at the why.
Right. Why does a kid who goes home to a violently abusive father willingly invite more violence at school?
Because Jor understands that physical pain is easier to process than emotional destruction.
Wow. Yeah.
He is consciously trading his physical safety to absorb the world's cruelty so Ali doesn't have to. He takes the punches so she doesn't have to take the shame.
There is a quote in the book where the narrator asks, who gets a friend like that? Hardly anyone.
It's a miracle to find that kind of loyalty.
It really is. And it's why Fredrik Backman gives us this incredible metaphor for adolescent friendship. He says that being 14 is the age when friendship is like joining the mafia. You can't leave it. You know too much.
You know too much. That is the terrifying glue of trauma bonding.
It really is a mafia.
You can't casually drift away from people who know about the knife and the dirt. You can't unknow the fact that your best friend has to wear a dress to save your life.
Right.
You have seen the absolute ugliest, most pathetic, most vulnerable scaffolding of each other's survival.
Which is what makes the second half of the book so incredibly heavy.
Yeah, the tonal shift.
Because the boys in the dresses grow up, the laughter fades, and we are forced to confront what time does to mafia-level bonds. Time is the ultimate corrosive agent.
It brings us to the reality of grief. And I really appreciate how Backman refuses to romanticize grief in this book.
He doesn't sugarcoat it at all.
He calls it a selfish bacteria. It is a parasite that demands your complete attention.
Let's unpack Ted's monologue on the roof with Louisa.
Oh, that scene is devastating.
Because he tries to explain to this 17-year-old what missing someone actually feels like on a random Tuesday afternoon. And it isn't crying at a gravestone in the rain.
No, it's entirely mundane, and that's what makes it horrific.
Ted explains that missing Kim Kim means leaving the bathroom light off.
Right, because Kim Kim used to always leave it on, and it used to drive Ted crazy.
But now, reaching out and turning off the light is a physical reminder that Kim Kim isn't there to leave it on anymore.
It means eating all the eggs yourself because there is no one to share them with.
It means setting the table for two on the balcony out of sheer muscle memory.
Muscle memory. It reminds me of phantom limb syndrome.
Oh, wow. That's a brilliant way to put it. Phantom limb syndrome.
It really is neurological.
Yeah.
Your brain is still firing signals down pathways that expect a response from a part of your life that has been amputated.
Ted reaches for the second plate.
Yeah.
The brain sends the signal, and the deafening silence that echoes back is what causes the pain.
Exactly.
The terror of being known by another person is that when they die, you don't just lose them. You lose your own routines. You lose your reflection. You have to live in the negative space they leave behind.
And we have to talk about the endings these characters get.
We do, because they're tough.
Because for a listener who wants a tidy, happily ever after where everyone goes to therapy and heals, this book is going to be a shock.
A massive shock.
These are deeply unhappy, happy endings.
Let's look at the reality of their fates. Allie, the fierce protector who hated dresses, who finally found some peace by learning to surf. She walks into the ocean at 18 and never comes back.
Jor, the boy who took the punches to save his friends, ends up spending time in prison.
Kim Kim, the brilliant artist, dies young of an illness.
And Ted is left entirely alone, terrified of the world. By every metric society uses to measure success, their lives are a complete tragedy.
A total failure of survival.
But Ted rejects that interpretation completely.
He does. He is standing on the roof with Louisa, and he argues for the defense of their lives.
What does he say?
He says, and I'm sort of paraphrasing the emotion of it here, he says, "It might sound like an unhappy ending, but only if you forget how many times during this story we've told you that someone laughed."
Wow.
How many really good nows is that? How many people ever have more?
How many really good nows?
Yeah.
That completely upends the way we value a human life.
It changes the whole metric.
We are taught to measure life by longevity, by pensions and mortgages, and growing old on a porch.
But Ted is arguing that a successful life is measured by the frequency and intensity of true, uninhibited laughter with someone who knows the darkest parts of your soul.
If you laughed until you couldn't breathe on a pier when you were 14, you won.
You won.
Even if you die at 18, even if you go to prison, you had the magic.
And I think about how desperately relevant that is for adults navigating loneliness today in 2025.
Oh, it's more relevant than ever.
We live in an era where we are constantly connected. We have thousands of followers, group chats buzzing all day, constant digital noise.
But true, unvarnished friendship, the kind where someone knows your egg farts and your emotional scars, the kind where you can just sit in silence and be here, is painfully rare.
Because we are terrified. We are all terrified of being as vulnerable as those 14-year-olds.
We think, if I let someone see the weakest parts of me, what if they use it against me? What if they leave?
So we build the armor. We become like the adult Kim Kim, living in a nice apartment but feeling hollow.
We forget how to yell here to each other. We really do.
We do. And I want to actually pause the analysis for a second and just talk directly to you listening to us right now.
Yeah, please do.
If this conversation is bringing up something real for you, Maybe a friend you haven't spoken to in years, or someone you miss desperately do something for us. Leave a comment below and tell us about them.
Tell us about your human.
Tell us about your human. We read every single one. And if you want more conversations like this, subscribe to the channel. We are here every single day talking about books that actually matter.
Because connection is the entire point. And it's why I cannot recommend My Friends by Fredrik Backman highly enough.
Who would you say this book is specifically for?
It is for the outcasts. It's for the people who feel like their wings are constantly rubbing beneath their skin, making them uncomfortable in their own bodies.
I love that.
It is for anyone who has ever felt like a paper boat heading for a waterfall, entirely unequipped for the brutal currents of adult life.
And it's for anyone who has lost their human or is still searching the dark for one.
Absolutely.
I couldn't agree more. And as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with one final provocative thought to carry with you today.
Okay, what is it?
Think about the trajectory of that painting, the painting of the three boys on the pier.
Oh, track its journey. It's incredible.
Kim painted it when he was a teenager, pouring all of his love and all of his terrified loneliness into the canvas.
Right.
Decades pass. He becomes famous. The painting hangs in museums, analyzed by complete strangers.
And it goes to auction.
Right. Kim uses his entire life's fortune to buy it back, gives it to Ted, and commands Ted to give it to Louisa, a 17-year-old runaway he met exactly once.
Why?
Because art, whether it's a painting or a song or a novel like this one, acts as a flare sent up in the dark across time.
It's a message in a bottle.
Exactly. When you create something honest about your loneliness, you are yelling here into the future.
Oh, that gives me chills.
That painting sat in the world for 25 years, carrying the hidden laughter of those boys, until another lonely, terrified runaway looked at it and realized, I am not the only one. Someone else felt this.
Letting someone in, creating a bond, creating art out of that bond, it doesn't just save you in the moment.
No, it doesn't.
It might save a stranger decades later who stumbles across the artifacts of your love.
You survived long enough to leave a map for the next person. That is the ultimate legacy.
A map for the next person. Wow.
So when this finishes playing, do yourself a favor. Go pick up the book, but before you even open the first page, pick up your phone.
Call the person who is your human.
Call them. Just tell them you're here.
Scream it into the dark. Here.
Here. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. We'll see you tomorrow.